I knew that I was making a mark. But God saw differently. I had personal things happening in my life that
Mm.
pulled me away from the scene. And when I ended up coming back, relocating back, it was like a whole new scene. It was like, who
Mm.
is Rimidi?
People forget, yo.
I don't know who that is. It was like, what? It was like I was starting all over again.
We back. Welcome to another episode of Music Therapy and Motivation. I'm your host, Gino Black. On today's soulful and candid episode, I'm sitting down and having a conversation with the incomparable singer, songwriter, and all-around truth teller. She goes by the name of Rimidi. Rimidi. She hails from Miami, Florida. We're going to be talking about music industry stuff. We're going to talk about her journey, its spiritual grounding, healing, sacrifices made to see her career and dreams and ambitions come true. Let's get into it.
You came back, people like, who is Rimidi?
Yeah.
People forget. So I'm probably sure every artist has been asked that when they leave a certain scene and they come back and they got to start all over.
Yeah.
But what did that make you feel like in that moment when it
Well,
really hit you?
I think it was the beginning of God grounding me back to earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Getting me out of my head, getting me out of my ego. I think they say ego has its place, but I think I had been like I was, I
Yeah.
was way out there. I had been groomed a certain way.
No
Um,
comment.
yeah, and it's cool. It's cool. I told you I have appreciation in that grooming, and I'm gonna still shout them out. Moonshine Brown, like I'll shout them out, but like
Shout out Moon.
but it wasn't always that good for me. And so in terms of like I was really starting to begin to believe like I was above people, but I still appreciate the grooming because he groomed me real good. He groomed me real good as an artist. But to come back and to have people not know who I was, yeah, that was like that was a reality check.
Mm-hmm.
I think I felt, if you ask me how I feel, maybe I felt inadequate. Maybe I felt unaccomplished. Maybe I felt, and these are things are not true, but if I go back into that space,
In your head.
yeah,
In
when
your
in my
head.
head, I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, like I'm a nobody. Who am I? Like you asking me the question? Like I thought you knew.
Yeah.
Fucking kind of question is that?
Well, I heard somebody say, and I don't know who it was. So I don't know if this is a famous quote or not, but it resonated with me. They said, if you live by the cheers, you'll die by the booze.
Ooh, ooh.
If it,
Ah,
if you
oh
live
my God,
by,
it's so deep.
yeah, if you
It's
live by the
simple, but so
cheers,
deep.
if the cheers is what give you life, and that's it, then when you don't get those cheers, you're gonna die.
And you know what? That young lady, I don't know her name because I don't really follow sports that much, but was it the young lady who runs and like her mom died and they did her blood test and they saw that there was like some marijuana in the test.
Shakari Richardson.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
said one day, and I resonated with it so much because this was, way years after the fact. This is me
Hmm.
growing into this new version of myself. And I resonated because she was like, after that had passed and now she's back on her A game and all that stuff. Not that she ever got off of it, but
Right.
now she has the opportunity again to continue doing what she's doing. And she was like, I don't really care about these people applauding what these people have to say. Because when I
Right.
was at my lowest, they was just
Hmm.
they did not see me the way I see myself.
Right. Right.
So yeah, that's how I see things. Like I love being able to be loved by people, but I don't live for your love.
Yes.
Because if I do that, then I'm gonna be the one that end up being on the booze because I have been living for
Yeah.
you versus living
Right.
for a higher power. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I can't find my joy from you. I cannot find my validation from man
Right.
because man will be on your coattail today, and then tomorrow you make the wrong left turn. All of a sudden you like the worst person, even though you're not. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, nah. I definitely that was the beginning of me having to see the reality of human nature. You know what I'm saying? Like that was and also the reality of my human nature and who I had become in my head, and now being grounded back to like at any moment, all of that stuff could be gone.
Yep. 100%.
And that was, again, that was just the tidbit of that, because I got more of that later. You know what I'm saying? I got a little bit more, I got cocky again, found some success with gym culture. You know what I'm saying? Got cocky all over again, mismanaged money, back down to now. This was
damn.
I listen, that one right there, I'm good. I'm humbled as hell. I'm confident. I'm confident as hell. But no, I'm going to embody this knowing that we're all one and I'm here for a purpose and I'm not better than anyone. No one's better than me. Like, nope, I ain't on that no more.
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah, good.
Good.
I mean, it's good. And again, shout out to the fabulous Moonshine Brown. Very talented brother.
Yeah.
Very, very talented. I mean, it's just like with anything, is you're gonna get the best if you're working with the best. But with everything, there's balance in all things, considering myself. Yeah, somebody's gonna have an experience with me and they're probably gonna get a lot of good, but it depends. They might get 5% something negative, and that would be unintentional, but they still might get it and walk away
There's
with
good and
that.
bad in all of us.
There's good and bad, yeah. So, I mean, the best part is you can discern that now and understand the growth, and that'll help you make better decisions, and it'll help you be a better I want to say coach for someone else. Like when you're mentoring to these young ladies, just having that transition and being on the other side of that now and being able to look back and really acknowledge the great stuff, but also acknowledge the stuff that wasn't so great. But still, you've grown from it. It's an experience. You didn't lose. You learned. So I think that's pretty cool. But so you come back, you start building back from scratch. You still get things popping, and then what's happening at that point? And about approximately what year was that?
What?
Like, I don't know. I'm an artist. I don't know about no dates.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I always admire and kind of low-key envy people who could be like, back in 2009, that's when that song came out, and I was sitting at the coffee table drinking, and I'm like, nigga, how? I didn't know that. I can't remember yesterday. Like what? Oh my God. But
No,
like,
I'm laughing because I don't remember no
I don't
dates
know
and
how people
shit
do that. I
either.
mean, there are some people who really are good at that.
Oh, I know,
On
I
April
know.
1666.
I know.
I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so we are talking about when I came back home.
Hmm.
And okay, so I kind of shared part of that journey in the beginning of this call.
Hmm.
So I would say that was around 'cause I think my dad died. I'm trying to figure out where I was when my father passed. I don't remember if I was here or not. So about 2016, 2017.
Hmm. Okay.
I'm gonna say I feel like it was 2016. No, it had to be because 2019 is when gym culture started. So the school year is 2018, 2019, 2017, 2018. So 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you started recording.
So no, I started recording. Yeah, maybe so. This is really blurry. Because just
All right.
a lot has happened, man, since 2016 when my
Yes, it has.
father passed away. So I will say 2017 is when I began writing songs for the project that we are now getting ready to release, which is Juno the Late Bloomer.
Hmm.
I started getting downloads or uploads of this song, starting with Surreal.
Hmm.
And yeah, I was home. I was in Miami, and I was in my place in Biscayne Park, and I because my bed was by the window, and I believe it was a rainy day, and I was listening to some music, and the song just came to me. The song just came to me, like a complete song.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember like if I ran like I don't know how I got the lyrics down. Like I like to think that I ran to just write it down, but at some point I wrote it down, but I don't remember but I do remember it came out like
Okay.
I call on the phone from you the other day, like just came
Good
out of me.
jam too.
Yeah, and yeah, it's really profound. And if people really listen to that song, everybody could connect to that song because everybody lost somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
everyone lost somebody.
Yeah.
And if you haven't lost somebody, you lost somebody. You know what I'm saying? So even if
Yeah.
you didn't lose them in the physical, like in another realm, you
Mm-hmm.
lost a relationship. You lost a dog. You like something happened. So then from there,
That's a powerful song, by the way.
it is because I couldn't sing it for the first couple of years. Betty Wright, one of my mentors,
Shout out to Miss
she
Betty Wright.
yeah, rest in peace, rest in power, rest in love. She know Rim loves her. Um, she I love her because a lot of people a lot of people would go see her, but whenever I would go see her, and I always popped up. I never let her know when I was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And she always made me feel so welcome. And she would smile, Remedy. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like I felt so special with this woman. I really did. But yeah, so that's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. So yeah, I couldn't sing that song. I couldn't quite sing that song. And she would always say to me, it's okay, Remedy. One day you're gonna be able to sing that song. Because I
Mm-hmm.
would try to sing it to her and I would break down every single time.
Mm-hmm.
I would break down every single time, and I would get so frustrated with myself because I'm like, why the fuck did I write this song?
Dang.
Because I can't sing it.
Right.
I can't sing it. I couldn't get through the song. Like I would break
It
down
was
every
it
single
was
time.
almost like it was a one-off. You got the recording, that's what you get.
Yeah, and shit. No, this is even before the recording.
Oh,
Like
okay.
yes, okay. So before me and the band started recording, this is now like a series of like 2 years where songs are coming to me just
Mm-hmm.
just at different times. So for instance, I was also a year after my father passed away, because not quite with surreal, I was not yet depressed. I had actually, when he passed away, I want to make it clear this is my biological father. When he passed away, my like I was actually like in one of the greatest spaces I had ever been in my life that I could
Mm-hmm.
remember other than my young childhood, right? I
Right.
was in one of the great space. I was doing my yoga, meditating, like I was like so vibrant. And then like a year later I realized no, something's wrong. I'm not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm off, like something's wrong. So surreal hadn't just came just yet. I mean, excuse me, surreal had already came, right?
Mm-hmm.
Surreal was like he was still here, and this was
Gotcha.
a prophecy. This was the universe telling me what was getting ready to happen. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I didn't know it though at the time. I was just downloading the music, uploading the music. So then from there, I started falling into a depression, and that's when like a day in your shoes come, because now I'm visiting one of my friends who from the outside looking in, his life is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
He's traveling. He's like, he is the man in his industry. You know what I'm saying? Like every time you see him, he's in another country. And then I go visit him, and he's literally like getting ready to break down and basically like keeping himself busy. And then like
Mm-hmm.
he's on the phone when I arrive. He's on the phone, he's making business deals and all this stuff. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
right. And then the moment he's off the phone, he reveals to me like, I'm not okay. And that if I don't do this, this is why I do this, because if I don't do this, I might off myself, basically.
Trauma response.
trauma response, and this is because, you know, I'm not gonna go deep into it because he could possibly, you know, be listening to this, but like he had an experience that was very heavy, you know what I'm saying? It was like family related, and it was like really negatively impacting him to the point of like he got to keep himself so busy so he's not thinking about it.
Right, right.
And I'm like, hold on, this is not who I'm seeing when I'm seeing.
Moving and shaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a whole nother person.
Yeah.
This is a whole nother person. And to be able to see that this person was in a worse state than I was in. Because I was not suicidal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I am not suicidal. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
to see someone who I really admire this person, to see this person like showing me something that I would not ever even imagine you even being able to be that person. It was
Right.
crazy. So that's where A Day in Your Shoes is like, you got the girl you want, look at the car you drive, everything seems fine on the outside. I've been to your crib, I see how you live, I see what it is, what a nice life. What the fuck wrong with you?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But now I'm in his shoes and I'm realizing like, ooh, my life ain't that bad.
Yeah.
It ain't that
Perspective.
bad. And that's when from that moment, very slowly, not quite yet, from that moment though, that's when I was like, I don't want to feel like this no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel like this, nah.
Right.
Because if you know, and then ultimately, eventually, I started realizing that if I keep this is a rabbit hole. Depression is a good thing, I believe, because depression to me is just a metamorphic period. It's just that it's not taught that way. You know what I'm saying? And people stay too long in it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't stay too long in depression because it's just a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a rabbit hole.
It
It's
is.
just gonna keep going deeper and deeper to like it. Like what I saw right before I was going into the rabbit hole, I saw black.
Mm.
For me, that indicates the end. Like it's just a whole. There's no like it's just that's it. Like you know what I'm saying. And so you know, yeah. And then it was ran away because ran away. I was also going through a breakup, and I don't even remember who I was breaking up with.
Mm.
I don't know more. But I was
Right.
through a breakup at the time, and that was the beginning of like starting to learn my value, my worth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, you ran away, you left, but when you left, now I'm realizing like my worth now. Like now the sun is shining. Now I
It
can see
happened
the
for
sun.
you, not to
Yeah,
you.
it happened for me, not to
Mm-hmm.
me. Now I can see the things that really truly matter that I never really paid attention to.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, right away. I could feel the sun shine. I could feel the moonlight. You know what I'm saying? I could feel real life now. Now I'm present.
Mm-hmm.
You were my distraction prior. And I didn't notice the simple things that made life make sense.
Right.
Oh, and then there's just so many other songs, Apology Note. Essentially, Alai wrote Apology Note. Alai gave me Apology Note actually as a gift. That was a
Mm.
gift. Like he said, you have
Okay.
that song. You know what I'm saying? But he wrote the first verse, and then I wrote the hook in the second verse
Mm.
of that
Okay.
song. Apology, I love apology. No, I don't really like the word apology. Well, I don't like I'm sorry. I like the
Right.
word apology.
Right.
I be wanting to rewrite that song so bad. So I cannot sing I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Because I really dislike that phrase. I'm more of like, pardon me, excuse me, I
Mm-hmm.
apologize. I like those words better.
Yeah, I say I apologize because I'm
Yeah,
not
because
sorry.
because sorry is like affirming that you're sorry. I just don't like.
Yeah, yeah, I get
But
it.
but it's a beautiful song, and I believe that's gonna be just like Bruce Banner. I believe that's gonna be one of the other ones because
Okay.
it's hard to it's catchy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, baby, and it just keeps
Yeah.
like it's just like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So it's like I love that song, but that song I realized for me was apology. I was apologizing to myself. Like it was me apologizing to myself for not allowing myself to have grace, for being so
Mm-hmm.
hard on myself. Like it was just like a real like apology to me. And yeah, but these are just like this is I actually Alai, we have a special relationship. Alai is also a musician. He's also an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Super, like he's a genius. He's a genius. He was my he's, you could still call him like my coach, but like
Mm-hmm.
my music coach in terms of in instrumental, right? In
Gotcha.
that regards.
Mm-hmm.
My musicianship, I would say, is him. And also like Patrick. But yeah, like, but I met Patrick, and then me thinking like I was developing this full long-term relationship with Patrick, but it actually, Patrick brought me the gift of Alai.
Mm.
And that's who
Yeah.
that's who I developed, because Patrick was actually my bass coach for a minute, and then they ultimately became Alai. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? And Alai is,
I like when stuff like that happens.
yeah, me too. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he said, no, you have this song. You keep this song. This is for you. And I'm like, really? Not, what, you gonna make money off of this? He's like, no, this is your song. You can have this
Dang.
song. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
That's
And
love.
yeah, and but again, these are
Mm-hmm.
just songs. I didn't touch on every single song, but this is just like, mind you, these songs are just like just kind of appearing with time, and they literally are coming from life experiences. That's it. All the way to there was a time. Even little girl was kind of like an accident. Little
Mm.
girl was me. Like we were now, okay. Now we're beginning to start the process of recording, right?
Okay.
We're beginning to record. In the beginning, it was ridiculous. The band, the synergy was ridiculous. Fuda was getting frustrated. Elijah Gee was there. I always mess up Elijah's name. Elijah Gee. I'm just gonna say Elijah G, because it could be Gee. But it's Gee. Elijah was there for Surreal, because that's the first song we started. He played
Mhm.
the keys on it, and he was very frustrated, to the point that we ended up starting a whole nother album away from the band with just the three of
Okay.
us. And that
Okay.
album is, we ain't gonna call that name yet, but yeah, that's for you, right?
Okay.
We started developing that project and the ideas and concept around that. And then Elijah went on to do his professional thing. He's a very seasoned musician. Food
Mhm.
is very seasoned musician. Jeff is too, but he had just kind of got back into the game. And then you had Rod, who is still kind of fairly new. And then you have Danny, who is not like, she knows the theory, but she's not
Mhm.
really like that fast on the bass, right? And so,
Right.
like you got this synergy, and prior to this, we were good, but it's like I don't know what was happening.
Mm.
They just was not. It was just not happening,
The
man.
synergy was off.
Yeah, even prior to that, even prior before we started recording with Fuda, I had brought on another musician, whose name I'm not gonna say, but I brought on another musician. Well, I'll say his name. Well, I ain't gonna say his name. But I just know that I did music with him, and he was not gelling with Rod,
Mm.
and it caused too much. It just got so toxic that I had to. Yeah, it's not working.
That messes up the creative flow.
Yeah, but guess what? The process came from that. The process
Mhm.
from like what we did from that space, and then now Jeff is in the space now. And then
Okay.
like when Fuda created the process, he merged the two experiences. So you hear like that process into the new band, like
Gotcha.
the true Remedy band, and you can
Mhm.
hear the merger. And it's really unique. But if you're listening to the process and you don't know that, because at some point, if you really listen to the process now, you can listen to it from a different perspective, because now
Mhm.
you'll hear the merger now, because when you listening to it for the first time, it has some parts where it's rough, because it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah.
Like I love the process so much, because it shows you what our process was like. But
Mhm.
if you listen closely, you'll hear Fuda blending the old with the new. And so there's like
Mm.
it sounds like discord for a minute.
Okay. Okay.
Like it's like it sounds like, what the fuck is going on here? Do you know your song sound like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know? But if you know, you know.
Right.
You know. If you're a true Remedy fan, you will really understand. Like, oh, this was the becoming of
Mhm.
Remedy as you know it today.
Right.
You feel me? And so then now we in the studio, we're recording in my house. Studio, Fuda brings all his studio equipment to my house.
Mhm.
We trying to get the band, it wasn't merging. We just cut ties, we cut it. Then we started doing the album with myself, Fuda, and Elijah. And then somehow we were able to get the band to come back together. We started recording again, but then from there, pandemic shut us all down.
Mm.
So now we trying to figure out, oh shit, how we finna finish this? How we finna get this done? Like,
Damn.
it's crazy because now everybody don't know, we scared. We, you know what I'm saying? But we're not scared of each other, but everybody telling us we can't be around each other.
Right,
Right?
right, right.
So now we trying to figure out how we gonna get this shit done and need to finish. Okay, fast forward, me and Fuda, we start now it's just me only. We come up with the solution that we gonna take what we have, we gonna work what the band has already done, and now we just gonna focus on vocals, right? And so now it's me now in Fuda's house. And now
Okay.
I'm going to Fuda's house consistently getting these songs done because now Fuda is also in the middle of getting ready to relocate. Shit was
Right,
crazy.
right.
It was crazy. It was so crazy. And so now we only have X amount of time to finish this album for real, because now
Right.
he's going to Atlanta. We don't have no time to play around now.
Right, right.
And then ultimately, we get it done. There was a time was not yet like that wasn't even supposed to be a thing. It's just I kept telling Fuda the album is not complete. It's not complete. Oh, I was gonna tell you about Little Girl. While we were recording at my house, I was just playing around. Like the band started playing music, and Milan was pissing me off. That's my daughter, my youngest daughter. And then I also have Leia. I got to make sure I shout out to Leia too. But at this time,
Don't leave nobody out on the
yeah, leave
broadcast.
nobody out. I love my daughters equally. I don't have any favorites. Leia have her time. She get on my nerves too, but this wasn't her time. This was Milan time. Milan had me I was so annoyed with this girl. And I just started singing the lyrics to Little Girl. I did not write that down at all. Nothing about Little Girl was written. I was just talking to her because I was very annoyed. And I just sang to her, not knowing that Fuda was recording us.
Oh, wow.
And that's how that song got on the album. And then last but not least, I kept telling Fuda, this album not done. This album not done. And then I kept looking at this video. I gotta find that video. It's posted somewhere. And it was when I was at Miss B house and I was recording a song. Not recording a song, I was playing around with a song. And I was like, this is the song. And so I presented it to Fuda. And Fuda took that song a whole nother level. It went somewhere. That's not where I envisioned it to go. But he took it somewhere else. And I believe also it went where it went because we're still in the middle of the pandemic. My friend had just I was urging everybody I knew, don't listen. It's your choice what you do. At the time, I wasn't really pro-choice per se. I was like, don't do that. I don't think it's a good idea, right? I don't. My spirit is telling me this is not a good idea. Don't do it.
Right.
But today, what I really realized is no, I'm just pro-choice, and I feel like what I know I was most upset about was that people were put in a position of my personal values, my personal ethics, my personal beliefs, and my body and how I govern my body and my job, my livelihood. And I just felt like that was so unethical. I felt like it was immoral. I thought it was wrong. And I just felt, and then also it was like, what is this thing you're putting in your body? What is this? Just take care of yourself. Just go out in the sun. Just go get some sea moss. Just go do black sea oil. Just go do castor oil. Take your freaking vitamin D if you need an extra boost of sun. You know what I'm saying? Because really the only place you can get vitamin D is the sun. But I know some places you can't get it. Like, some of us are in buildings all day or whatever. So take the vitamin D, take the vitamin C, take the zinc, just take it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just do what you got to do. Keep positive thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Just take care of yourself. Don't stop listening to other people. What is yourself telling you to do? So I was very upset at the time. And then one of my friends that day of recording had got the jab because she was in the military. At that right there, pissed me off. That pissed me off. And Fuda took that and made me channel it into the song.
Okay.
And that's the process. that was the process. On another day we could dive deeper because I know we already way over our time, but that's essentially.
We got 2 episodes right here. Got 2 episodes, one on education, one on music.
But this that just the process. This is why I always tell you that album, it's doing its own thing. I really feel like when I try to make it do what it do, it's like, nope, hold on, I'm waiting on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I'm waiting on somebody to get in position.
Okay.
Slow down, stop. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like and when I try to force it, it ain't gonna work. I don't care how much you do. It ain't gonna work. I told you I already attempted to release this album.
Right.
Just nothing, things was just not right. Money was not right. If the money was right, then the timing just was off. Like it was not allowed, like it just was not coming into fruition but it was just on its own timing, as you can see. Like
Right.
it's on its own timing. And so I have learned to like fall back and just trust the process, but still having my mind on this album, still having like wanting to get this album out. And because I know this album is going to change. I know this. I've known for a very long time that this album was going to be an album. This album is an album that is going to change the lives of people. And I know that I make timeless music because that's all I ever wanted to do. And I know that I make music that causes you to feel, which is why my album Dopamine Collection, that's why it was named that, because it was named
Right.
specifically on what I set out to do when I make music. I want you to feel. Like I need
Right.
you to feel. I need those chemicals to start moving through your body and causing you to like connect with your human experience,
Yeah.
connect with your emotions. So yeah, it's this has been a journey.
It has been. So now we've got the dopamine collection that's already available on all streaming platforms. And then you also have some songs available for download directly on your website, findyourremedy.com. Now, the album that we're talking about that you were just describing, what's the name of the album?
Juno, the late bloomer. Juno.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
You know the late bloomer. Hey.
You know the late bloomer, man.
But
C'est pas
Juno,
so.
yeah, Juno, the late bloomer.
Tell us, the viewers and the listeners, what is Juno the late bloomer? Now you've given us description of the concept and the inspiration for some of the songs and some of the takes on how they came about. Tell us, what is Juno the late bloomer? What is the significance of that title?
Okay, so and I also want to say that when we were recording, like, okay, once the album was done
Hmm.
and I was listening to that album, I thought I had failed actually, Juno. I'm about to call you Juno.
Juno.
But I actually I like when it was done and I was listening to myself, and then also like, my daughter Milan likes Janae Aiko type stuff,
Hmm.
like soft stuff, and she's just like, you're just screaming too much, like. And so
Hmm.
when I heard it, I just I couldn't receive it, and I
Mm.
thought I had failed. Ask Fuda, man, ask Fuda, yo, we got to have a conversation one day with Fuda, like
Okay.
Fuda, like even the whole band, like they like, because we need to get a full
We can
picture.
get everybody.
Yeah, we
We can
need a
do that.
full
We can do
picture
that
of.
once and get everybody on
Yeah, because
and do like a group cast. Yeah.
I think having everyone on will paint a better, bigger, more clearer picture of what
Okay.
was happening during that time.
That's
But
a good idea.
yeah, but I was so like, I can't believe, I spent all this time doing this and it sounds like this. I
Mm.
couldn't accept it. And but over time, like sitting with it, like I like even also I feel like I had to grow into that. I really had to accept my artistry. I really had to it's hard to describe. But like I was just listening to, I've been listening to it every day right now, but I was just listening to it yesterday on my way to work, and I'm just like, this album is so good. Like this album is so good. But
It is.
yo, like yo. But anyway, so Juno, I was at a place after moving through this album. I was at a place where I was realizing that, I told you my biological father, his name is James.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away, and I have realized that what Juno, the late bloomer, was, or what I was experiencing at that time, was a Pandora box had opened after he had passed, and there were things that I didn't realize. I A lot of my experiences, particularly related to men, was rooted in,
Mm-hmm.
right. It was rooted in the relationship I have with my dad, like my value, my self-worth, the chase, right? The chase for
Mm-hmm.
attention, the chase for affection. Just realizing that, like, I had literally chased my dad to his death. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a great man, essentially. Like, the spirit was great, but
Mm-hmm.
being a father was not his priority. Like, his priority was
Mm-hmm.
getting money. His priority was living this certain lifestyle, this young lifestyle. Like he was a young man. He kept his hair
Mm-hmm.
dyed black, even though he was Asian. So when he passed away, I was beginning to realize that, dang, this album was just about that. It was about, like, that experience. So Juno
Mm-hmm.
is the goddess. She's a Roman goddess, and I'm pretty sure there is a Kemetic goddess that correlates to this goddess, right? Who came first, right? Who this goddess is named
Mm-hmm.
after, but Juno is the one that somehow came to me. And ironically, one of my favorite movies is Juno, but it
I
wasn't.
love that movie.
Yeah, I do too, but this is not
Yeah.
where it came from. But it's so funny because she was kind of naive, right?
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so Juno is the goddess of love and marriage. So I was coming into a place, not yet ready, but coming into a place where I was saying, okay, I think I'm ready to settle down. I think
Okay.
I'm ready to settle down. I think I'm ready to stop being this girl who, like, like, a little promiscuous at time. I think I'm ready to, like, I'm grounded. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done with that. Like, I know who I am. I don't need love outside of me. Like,
Right.
yeah, and I'm ready to meet my match.
Mm-hmm.
And I was starting to embody my own self-love. And it was because of that process that was making me begin to go inward for real, and to start
Right.
really seeing myself. And then I was also starting to realize that it had took me a long time to just navigate life and to find my footing, right? To really understand, like, who I was, and where I fit in this whole process. I mean, my cycle came on late. You know what I'm saying? I was a late bloomer
Mm.
from the beginning. You know? I like, everything was late. Overstanding this music business, it was late.
Mm-hmm.
Overstanding finances, late.
Late.
You know what I'm saying? Overstanding just even just everything. I was late, but I was also starting to just begin to understand that this is a part of my journey. Like, it's all in divine timing. And
Mm-hmm.
now, in the recent years, I have been, and I mean recent, like the last year or two, I'm really starting to realize, like, oh, that was just research and development.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, now I could teach my young people to chill the hell out.
Yeah.
Because before, it was like, I gotta become today. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I say, like, I know I would have made the wrong decisions. Something
Yeah.
was protecting me, because I just felt like I need to become this mega superstar today. And I had already been prophesized many times, too specifically, that I was going to be as big as Yolanda Adams. And at the time, she was extremely big. You know what I'm saying? So I had
Shout
already
out.
knew.
Shout out to
Shout out
Yolanda.
to Yolanda Adams. So I
Oh,
already
excuse me.
knew.
I'm sorry. I gotta edit that part
Oh,
out. Oh,
that was,
God damn.
hey, listen, that was me last night. I told you I was gonna get something done, but that's why I saw your post. You was like, oh, I'm like, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm trying, but bruh,
Yeah.
I'm at this computer leaning over.
Yeah.
It's time for
Yeah.
me to go lay down somewhere. But yeah, so you know, and I also started coming into a place that I named all my albums, and I'll share that with you privately. But I already named my albums because and I believe I already told you some of
Like
them,
the
but I already
progression.
named them because I already know the progression of where I'm going,
Mm-hmm. I
right?
see it.
So all of my projects for my life have already been planned out. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Yeah, so it's like I was I was just in a place of beginning to just realize that okay, this is now behind me. I'm moving into a new place, but I am now accepting that it took me a while to navigate this life journey, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay because look where you are and look who you're becoming and look
Yeah.
all that you have accomplished and yet to accomplish. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So and Juno, she governs all these things. She governs childbirth. So you know, just me being a mom and like I am a protector. So, you know, it's just a lot of these things. So it just all like meshed all together. And just like how gym culture came to me, that's how
Hmm.
Juno the late bloomer came to me.
Okay.
It just came to me. And I knew it was right. I knew it was right. I didn't second guess it.
Right.
I just knew it was right. And that's how the album got its name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I
Hmm.
get it. Now, that album is completed and has a tentative release date, so we'll check back with you on that. However, you do have a little treat coming up
Oh yeah.
regarding that album. You want to talk about that a little bit, or you want to?
No, we could talk about it.
Okay,
my
I'll
spirit,
I'll
my
I'll
spirit
let
said,
you.
don't talk about it.
Who said? He said what now?
My spirit said, don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
I
You,
said,
you
as
want,
soon as I said, I'll talk about it, it
then
said,
your
don't
spirit
talk
said,
about
"Don't
it.
talk about it." You want to keep one in the chamber.
Which, yeah, let's keep it in the chamber for a
All right,
second.
we'll keep it in the chamber. It's something coming though. Yeah. So that there's so much more like this. I did the same thing when I had food on. We wound up talking for like 3 hours. I ain't gonna do that to you because it's getting late. We just do another one. But no, it's a lot of information to process. I think that you have, I mean, you're a grown woman, but you have matured gracefully, in my opinion, just from my purview in terms of how you see things and how you've modified your way of thinking. And what I like to do, what I do with myself now, I'm reframing. I went through a series of they call CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Mm.
So I'm reframing everything that's not a positive into a positive. So it is something that I have to practice, and I'm getting really good at it. So obviously, I have to work harder at it because I lacked empathy for a long time. So now I'm a healed citizen. I'm healing. I lacked empathy. So I no longer lack empathy. So that helped me. But I say that all to say that knowing you from back when, and anybody else that's listening or watching that knows you even longer than that, I think it's safe to say that you have leveled up spiritually and mentally. And as you mentioned, there's always those times in life where we're gonna have those dark days, those days of depression and whatnot. But as you said, you can't stay in that place. That's just a temporary place. And sometimes you do need to be still for a minute, but you can't stay in a dark place. Like you said, you don't want to just all of a sudden see black because that's a no-no.
Mhm.
But
I
I
have a
go ahead,
question.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
When is this coming out? This recording?
I haven't set a date yet because something tells me that you're going to want to spiritually advise me on the date.
No, no, not on this one. I
It'll
asked that.
be
I only asked that because we could talk about what's coming.
if we do it before that
Yeah,
time.
if it's like right
It's
prior to that, then
it
we
will be prior to that
okay. So you're gonna kind of use this around that
as
time,
a lead
right?
in. Yeah,
So
yeah.
then we could talk about it, even though my
Okay.
spirit keeps saying don't talk about it.
The spirit
That's
keeps saying don't
right.
talk about it. So let's not talk about it
Not this time, I
because
guess.
let's not talk about it because what we
Yeah.
can always do is we can jump on just for like an exclusive clip
All
just for
right,
that.
but let's
We
do
do
that.
that. We do it like that. We got to leave them wanting more, not wanting less.
Yeah, okay.
But damn, I was about to say some stuff
I
that
apologize. Dang.
nah, it's fine. It's fine. Because I was about to say some stuff that's kind of behind the scenes stuff too. So let me not say that. Is there so but we'll discuss that at a later time privately. But what do you think? Like I say, the program is called Music Therapy and Motivation. Obviously, it's about music, it's about creatives, but it's also about empowering minds and empowering creatives. And it's about the motivation piece because I understand depression. I went through depression. I understand, and not comparing mine to anybody else's, but everybody can say, "Well, I was in deep, deep depression for this X amount of time." No matter how long it was, no matter how deep it was, congratulations to everybody for climbing out of that hole. If you were in that space, but I do understand that. Is there anything that you want to say before we wrap to creatives, to young women? To Black people, to anything that you want to cover, maybe that you wanted to speak on that you think is important, or something else that you're passionate about that we didn't discuss yet before we wrap.
Well, I'll wrap it back, take tabling it back to you and pointing it back to you and what you're doing here, which I believe is incredible.
Hmm.
Allowing creators like myself to have a platform to share what we're doing. So I'm going to table it back to music therapy because music is therapy.
Indeed.
And so I will say with that, we need to be very careful about the music we listen to
Mm.
because music can be therapy and music can also be a tool of destruction, right? When we understand like how our subconscious mind works. I've heard a few times some of the young ladies in my life who on occasion might listen to, like, I don't know what's up with the young men, like they talk a lot about pussy 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 so much these days, like,
Yeah.
and I mean I guess it has a time and a place if I'm getting ready to have that type of situation, but like I don't know, like do you not have another vocabulary word or do
Nope.
you not have anything else to talk about? And so I guess I'm speaking specifically to my young ladies of like we have to be careful about what we are taking in, and even our young men, be careful of what we're taking in, specifically to the young ladies, because if you're listening to that, and then don't be surprised when that shows up in your reality,
Hundred
and
percent.
that's how like men are treating you, because that's pretty much what you're programming
You're
yourself.
feeding yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm
You're
saying. So
consuming it
yeah, you
in
can.
large wholesale quantities.
Yeah, so I think I want to leave people with learning about your subconscious mind and your super conscious mind, and really understanding like the role that these things play, even learning about your conscious mind and the difference between the three and the role that they play, and really understanding that the computer was designed around how you work, and if you can conceptualize how the computer works and that how we program it, then you can really unlock the key to you and how you operate, and how you got to be very careful with the programming that is happening. From 0 to 7 you have been programmed, and that's basically a lot of who you are, but you're
Mhm.
now at a place, especially as you get older and you are released from your parents' care, you now have the responsibility of reprogramming yourself, right? Or it doesn't necessarily mean like that your parents did a bad thing job too. I want to make that clear, but maybe some of the things that they program is not in alignment with who you are becoming, and
Mhm.
so you need to be very intentional about learning how you work. You know what I'm saying? The
Yes.
anatomy of
Yes.
you. You need to
Yes.
understand how you work. And that way you could be more intentional about your existence. And you could be more intentional about how you can reprogram yourself to be who you are becoming. Right. So that would be my greatest advice. And yeah, music is therapy. So let's make sure music is so powerful because of the power that music has, because music is vibration, because music is frequency, because we are energy, because we are frequency, and we are calling to us our frequency. So let's be intentional about who we are and who we're becoming so that we can align ourselves with the right frequencies, right? The right frequencies, meaning the right people,
Right.
right places, the right things, the right jobs, the right everything.
Yeah.
Because
You have to curate your own environment.
you need to curate your own environment and know that you are deserving of an environment that either is better than what you have or it's just the environment that you want. Doesn't necessarily
Yes.
mean that anything is wrong with your current environment. It just could mean that you want something different.
Yeah.
You
And
want something more.
that's a good thing.
And that's a good thing, and that's absolutely okay. And if you are in an environment, if you are in an environment that is not what you want, oh, the Lord knows it's temporary and it will change. We just have to learn that the mind is not the master. We are the master of the mind, and we have to. This is why we need to just learn. We need to know thyself, and that is what I like to leave everyone with.
And you got it straight from Remedy on music therapy and motivation. Woo! Uh, you got it. Hey, the pleasure is all mine. I want you to shout out where people can tap into you, because specifically, as you mentioned, honing one's own spirit and curating one's own environment. You have meditational videos on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I would
So
encourage everybody to find Remedy on YouTube. I don't know what the direct link is.
it's Find Your Remedy.
Find your Remedy on
We're Find Your
YouTube.
Remedy. We're Find Your Remedy on
She's
YouTube.
got she's got some music videos up there, visualizers, and she's got these really, really cool meditation videos that I've been watching myself.
I did forget to talk about Find Your Remedy, period. So
Yeah.
just look out for more on that. Just remember Find Your Remedy. We'll talk more about Find Your Remedy. But yeah, you can go to findyourremedy.com when it comes to all the music, when it comes to that healing aspect. But you can also go to iamremedy.com as more of my portfolio to kind of get a look into like the different work that I'm doing. And if you go to iamremedy.com, it will direct you to findyourremedy.com. It will direct you to gymculture.org. It will direct you to all the other things. But definitely findyourremedy.com is where you can go if you're really wanting to get into the music and that aspect of my career and my existence, my being.
Excellent, excellent. Y'all tap into that, and what I'll do is I'll put all that information, your links and everything in the description box on all the platforms. Shout out to Jeff and Rod.
Yeah.
Again, shout out to my guy Fuda Kochi. And ladies and gentlemen, whether you're listening to this in the morning, afternoon, or night, or in the middle of the night, depending upon what country you're in, this is Remedy.
Yes, it is.
Thank you very much. It has
The
been a
one and only.
pleasure.
But hey, I got a lot of duplications, but you can't really duplicate this quite.
You can't.
It's real
You
hard.
can't. You can't. You can't. You
Real hard.
can't.
That secret sauce,
No,
I only got it. I'm the only one who got it.
we gonna exterminate the frauds. That's what we're gonna do.
But thank
Thank
you
you so much. Thank you so
Yes.
much. We'll talk soon. This was awesome. Yo, if you enjoyed this episode, you gotta check out this next video. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You'll be the first to get all the new content, all the new motivational content, all the new music, and all the behind the scenes footage. You'll be the first to know what's going on. This is Music Therapy and Motivation. I'm your host, Gino Black. I want you to get activated, and I hope you stay motivated. Peace.